Lil Durk's court case is quickly turning into one of the most talked about legal battles in recent memory, and the twists and turns just keep on coming. With his ongoing legal troubles, particularly the accusations surrounding his alleged involvement in a shooting, things are heating up both in the courtroom and online. The case, which has garnered massive attention from fans, critics, and the media alike, now has a major wrinkle that could change the course of everything. One of the most shocking developments so far is the accusation that Lil Durk has been labeled a snitch by one of his own shooters. Yes, you read that right, one of the people allegedly involved in the shooting has reportedly referred to Durk as a snitch. Now, this is serious business because in street culture, calling someone a snitch is a grave accusation that can lead to long-lasting consequences. A snitch is considered one of the worst kinds of traitors in the eyes of the community, and being labeled as one can effectively ruin a person's career, reputation, and personal life. The fact that someone close to Durk would make such an accusation raises a lot of eyebrows, especially considering the fact that Durk has been publicly aligned with the street code for years. He's known for being a key figure in Chicago's drill scene and has built his entire persona around being tough, loyal, and street smart. So to have one of his own shooters, someone who's allegedly been part of his inner circle, suddenly throw him under the bus as a snitch is a huge shock to fans and fellow rappers alike. Naturally, the internet exploded when this accusation started circulating. Fans and critics alike immediately began speculating about the identity of the alleged shooter, trying to connect the dots and figure out who might be responsible for the claim. The gossip and rumors started flying fast, with many pointing to individuals who have had close ties to Durk in the past, but who may have fallen out with him over the years. Of course, social media was quick to pick up on the speculation, with countless people trying to figure out who the person in question could be. While the internet is rife with theories, there hasn't been any official confirmation regarding the identity of the shooter or the validity of the accusations. However, one thing is clear: the timing of this revelation is extremely unfortunate for Durk. Just when it seemed like he was starting to gain some momentum, both in his music career and personal life, this controversy has the potential to overshadow everything. For Durk, who has worked hard to maintain a tough image, this is not just a legal issue but a personal one. The accusation of being a snitch could lead to a massive hit to his reputation within the hip-hop community and among his loyal fan base. It's a question of loyalty. Who can you trust when someone in your inner circle is turning on you? If this case continues to unfold in this direction, it could mean not only legal ramifications but a loss of respect from those who have supported him for years. What makes this situation even more intense is the context of the charges against Durk. He's already dealing with serious accusations related to a shooting, and now, with the added pressure of this snitch claim, it's hard to imagine how things will play out in the courtroom. The internet has a way of blowing things out of proportion, but when it comes to allegations like these, the damage can be far-reaching. And don't forget about the wider implications for the Chicago drill scene. Lil Durk is one of its most prominent figures, and if his legal issues get worse or his reputation takes a hit, it could change the trajectory of the genre. Fans have always been drawn to Durk for his raw authenticity, and if that's in question, it could shake the foundation of his fanbase. As the case continues to develop, more details are likely to come to light. But one thing's for sure: Lil Durk is facing a battle both inside and outside the courtroom, and it's one that could define his career moving forward. Will he be able to clear his name and silence the accusations, or will the label of snitch be something that sticks with him for good? Only time will tell, but the stakes couldn't be higher. For now, all we can do is watch closely as this story unfolds.
What was he claiming?
Roll 60 script.
Where Brick Baby from?
Roll 60 script.
What you think the police...
So things are really heating up for a big court showdown, and trust me, you're going to want to keep up with this one. OTF Jam is out here spilling all kinds of tea, and by now you've probably heard about his bizarre case of alleged betrayal. But if you somehow missed it, let me catch you up. OTF Jam, who's part of the OTF gang, is being accused of snitching on Lil Durk. The claim is that he wore a wire and secretly recorded gang members confessing to crimes. Yeah, it's a wild one. The whole thing started blowing up when Chicago GD rapper King Yella posted about it on social media. Yella said, "I heard about some dude named OTF Jam and they're calling him a rat. Rat. Jam didn't stay quiet for long though. He actually responded saying something like, 'Okay, I'm a rat, watch this.'" Now, Yella's an OTF rival, so some people thought maybe he was just trying to stir up trouble, but here's where it gets interesting. OTF Jam eventually spoke out himself. He hopped on social media and told everyone to chill out with the rat talk, saying that unless they saw his name, KCJ, Hester aka OTF Jam, on actual police paperwork, they shouldn't be accusing him of anything. Until you see that name on the documents, don't come for me, he posted. Things only got worse within OTF after that. None of the OTF members really came to Jam's defense, even though they were all online shouting "Free Durk," so Jam took it a step further and accused Durk of being the real snitch. He said Durk dropped hints about it in his music, calling him a rat and rapping about other people snitching on themselves. But that's not all. Jam has a complicated history with Durk. After serving 12 years for attempted murder, he was released in February 2022, and Durk reportedly gave him $50,000 to help him get back on his feet. Jam confirmed this, saying he gave me $50K, made sure I was good, but things got messy when the feds started paying attention to Durk's lyrics, which mentioned Jam's criminal history. They were watching Jam closely, waiting for him to mess up so they could send him back to prison. And according to the rumors, Jam might have been facing weapons charges and a whole lot of time if he messed up. Despite everything Durk had done for Jam, helping him out, buying him a car and a house, even handing over cash, there are whispers that Durk didn't help when Jam got in serious trouble again. DJ Academic said that Durk refused to help pay for Jam's lawyer or bond when he was arrested. Feeling betrayed, Jam apparently decided to cooperate with the authorities. It's a lot, right?
I heard somebody named OTF Jam. They said they've been calling him a rat. And basically he said, oh.
Okay, so here's the deal. Jam's name's been tossed around a lot lately, and people are calling him a snitch, but here's the thing, his name still doesn't show up on any official documents. But one thing he did get right, Durk has been kind of hinting at snitching in his music. If you saw that viral clip of Durk where he says, "No one can tell me to slide for Von," you know what I'm talking about. After King Von was tragically taken in that shooting, the whole internet was on Durk's case, saying he needed to slide for Von like he had to get revenge. But Durk shut that down quick, saying he wasn't going to be out there seeking revenge like that. Now, here's where it gets interesting. In a sit-down with DJ Academics, Durk was asked about those slide for Von comments, and his response was pretty chill. He said something like, "I don't even know if people still say that. They used to, but I think they were just messing with me." Then, out of nowhere, he drops this bomb. He says those comments stopped because his team had already handled business. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. But here's the wild part, Durk might have just snitched on himself in his own lyrics. In his track Rumors, he raps, "I don't want no who you catch, I want the one I paid for." And then there's another track where he mentions Quando Rondo and says, "See son, you shrieking, no, no," and all them hanging with him. If you didn't know, Quando Rondo was caught on camera crying after his cousin LP was killed by one of Durk's OTF affiliates. Now, this next part is a game changer. Court docs show the feds got their hands on Durk's iCloud, and apparently Durk warned his shooters not to book anything in his name. But guess what? They went ahead and did it anyway, using a credit card linked to Durk and OTF. Crazy, right? And just when you think things can't get messier, OTF affiliates started calling out other rats in their camp. OTF Win took to Instagram, posting pictures of dudes named Marlon Kirsch and Karen Hollins, even accusing Marlon of wearing a wire. Looks like there might be more snitches inside OTF than we thought. And you know who's been on top of this? DJ Vlad. Yeah, I know some people call him a fed, but he was quick to notice something. He went through Durk's paperwork and found that there are 3 co-conspirators whose names are hidden. One was apparently a shooter, another booked flights for the shooters, and one snitched on Quando Rondo's location in LA. But hold up, it gets even crazier. During a conversation with WAC 100, the situation took an unexpected turn when they might have figured out who one of the snitches is Brick Baby. Now, if you're unfamiliar with Brick Baby, let me give you a little background. He's a rapper from California known for his connections to some pretty serious street activity. Brick Baby isn't exactly a stranger to the drama, and his name has been swirling around a lot lately, especially after WAC 100's comments. WAC, who's known for being outspoken and not afraid to stir the pot, dropped a bombshell when he said that everyone had originally thought the shooting incident in Atlanta, which nearly took the life of rapper Quando Rondo and ended with his cousin's tragic death, was just the result of a bad drug deal. That's the story that was being pushed for months, a simple, unfortunate situation where things went wrong during a transaction. But according to WAC 100, the situation may be a lot more complicated than anyone realized, and the involvement of Brick Baby could be a key factor. For context, the Atlanta shooting in question happened in May 2020, and it left Rondo's cousin, Lou Tim, fighting for his life after being shot multiple times. Quando Rondo, who was also involved in the altercation, managed to survive but was shaken by the violence. The shooting, which went down in the middle of a busy area in Atlanta, instantly caught attention and left fans and street insiders speculating about what really went down. Many believed it was simply a case of a botched drug deal gone wrong, but the real motives were much murkier. The details that have emerged since then suggest that there may have been deeper issues at play, and now, with WAC 100's statement, people are starting to connect the dots in a different way. WAC's assertion that Brick Baby could be the one behind the leaking of crucial information about the shooting is something that has caught a lot of people's attention. If this is true, it could add an entirely new layer of complexity to an already tragic situation. Why would Brick Baby, a guy with ties to the streets, potentially be involved in something like this? It all boils down to the tight-knit, often murky world of street politics and loyalty. When you get involved in this kind of life where alliances shift as quickly as the winds change, it's easy to see how something that was initially thought to be a straightforward dispute over drugs could evolve into something much bigger. Was there a hidden agenda behind the shooting, or was it just a matter of betrayal from someone on the inside? Brick Baby's name coming up in this context suggests that there might be more to the story that we haven't yet heard. One thing that we know for sure is that street beefs don't just fade away, and in the world of hip-hop, things often get amplified when the wrong people start talking. The streets have their own set of rules, and breaking those rules can have deadly consequences. If Brick Baby or anyone else has been leaking information to authorities or to people outside the circle, it could change the narrative entirely. It's one thing to have beef with someone on the streets, it's another thing entirely to get the authorities involved, especially when you're dealing with high-profile people like Quando Rondo and his associates. The impact of this revelation could be huge, not just for Brick Baby, but for the entire situation surrounding the shooting. If it turns out that he or anyone else has been snitching or cooperating with law enforcement, it would shift the focus away from the alleged bad drug deal and onto the issue of loyalty and betrayal. In street culture, snitching is one of the most unforgivable offenses. If anyone is caught doing it, they can expect not just public scrutiny, but also severe consequences from their own community. And the thing is, this isn't just about one shooting, it's about a larger web of connections, relationships, and betrayals that stretch through the entire hip-hop community. When someone like Wack 100, who's got connections and knows the ins and outs of the game, makes these kinds of statements, it creates a ripple effect. People start digging deeper, making connections, and soon enough, the truth, or what they believe to be the truth, starts to emerge. The shooting of Quando Rondo and his cousin was already a devastating event, but if it turns out that snitching was involved in some way, it would add an entirely new level of drama and distrust to the situation. Everyone involved in this mess will be left with questions: who can they trust? And more importantly, how much of this is actually true? With the way things are unfolding, it seems like we haven't even come close to getting all the answers yet. So buckle up, because it looks like we're about to enter a whole new chapter in this story. If the rumors about Brick Baby are true, it could change everything we thought we knew about the Atlanta shooting and the people involved. You definitely won't want to miss what happens next. Keep your eyes peeled, because this drama is far from over.
They gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying?
So when Brick got picked up by the feds, everyone thought it was because of a gun charge, right? But here's the twist: it wasn't about the gun at all. Turns out the feds actually wanted his cell phone. Everyone assumed it was tied to the Alaska 47 case, but that wasn't the full story. They were after his phone because one of the people working with them was leaking Quando Rondo's location to his enemies. But here's the kicker: after the shooting, the feds actually told Quando Rondo that the Rolling 60s Crips, the gang he was repping, had set him up. Can you believe that? Why would the police say that? Well, it turns out that both Quando and Brick Baby were in the same gang, and Quando, when he landed in Atlanta, checked in with them for protection. But here's the thing: who exactly was he checking in with? After everything went down, Quando Rondo hopped on social media and just let it all out. He was mad at his gang, saying they didn't have his back. He even said he was done pretending. "If you're not with me, I'm cutting ties," he posted. It was like he was done with the fake love. Then he went even further, saying, "I'm not riding with Y all anymore. There's no loyalty here." You could feel the frustration in his words. But then there's OTF Bua, another guy who's kind of flying under the radar. His story's pretty suspicious. He was supposed to serve 8 years, but somehow he only did 15 months.
Yep.
15 months for some serious charges. People are starting to wonder if there's more going on here, especially considering his connection to Durk and the timing of his release. Could he be working with the feds? It's hard not to wonder. Now let's talk about what's going on with Durk. There's been a lot of chatter about him, and some court documents show that things might be getting serious for him. Apparently, after King Von's death, Durk was allegedly using coded language, telling his people he'd pay a bounty to anyone who could take out Quando Rondo. And if that wasn't crazy enough, there's talk that his cousin, DeAndre Wilson, was involved too, pushing people to take part in the plan with promises of big music opportunities from OTF. So fast forward to August 2022, Quando's moving around LA, and it seems like Durk's people are tracking his every move, thanks to info possibly coming from Brick Baby. They knew where he was staying and the plan was set, but when the time came, it all went down at a gas station near Beverly Center. The ambush didn't go exactly as planned though. Quando Rondo made it out, but his cousin Lil Pab was tragically killed in the crossfire. But here's where it gets even crazier. One of the suspects started talking to the cops, giving them details about what really went down, and now the feds are all over it. The question is just, how deep does this whole thing go? Could Durk be caught up in all of this? The pieces are starting to fall into place, and it doesn't look good that this whole situation is still unfolding, and it's honestly wild. You've got betrayal, loyalty, and a whole lot of unanswered questions. Stick around, because there's a lot more to this story that's about to come out.
Are you saying that he made a threat towards Durk? I've been holding you down because I heard you say something about like...
Okay, so let's dive into some crazy stuff that's been happening in the rap world. You remember 6ix99, right? The New York rapper who stirred up drama with King Von and Lil Durk? Yeah, he was talking a lot of mess, and when Von passed away, 6ix99 was one of the people pushing Durk to get revenge. But here's where it gets wild. Facing 47 years in prison, 6ix99 decided to flip. He started snitching. Back in November 2018, he and 4 others got arrested on serious charges like RICO and firearms, facing life behind bars. But when it was his turn in court, he didn't hesitate. He was asked if he recognized anyone from his gang, and bam, he pointed out 2 people in the courtroom like it was no big deal. Talk about betrayal, right? But 6x99 isn't the only one getting caught up in this. In 2023, an audio recording surfaced with Rich Homie Quan, and it sounded like he might have been snitching too. In the recording, he talks about someone involved in the shooting at his dad's store and even mentions something about a person's death. Of course, people lost it. Young Thug's sister, Dora, wasn't having any of it. She took to Instagram calling Quan a hypocrite after all the times he shouted "Free Thug" at his concerts, but Quan was quick to deny everything, even offering $1 million to anyone who could prove he snitched. When people asked him about it on Instagram Live, he said, "Find my name in the paperwork, and I'll give you $1 million bold claim, right?" And then there's Young Thug's brother, Unfunk. He took a plea deal, admitting to violating Georgia's RICO Act and getting involved in stolen property. He's now facing 12 years, and of course the rumors started flying that he'd snitched. Unfunk took to Instagram to clear the air, saying, "People really think I told on my own brother. Show me the paperwork. I didn't snitch on anyone, but honestly, people weren't buying it." But here's where it gets even more intense. Gunna, Young Thug's close friend, got caught up in a similar situation. A video came out of him admitting that YSL wasn't just a label, it was a gang. And he even said he'd seen members of YSL commit crimes. The internet went crazy, calling him a rat. Even Lil Baby and Lil Durk unfollowed him. Durk wasn't shy about it either. He called Gunna out and said he should have kept his mouth shut. Gunna tried to defend himself, but at this point, the damage was done. Absolutely. Let's dive deeper into the situation with Young Thug, because it's honestly a roller coaster. The big question on everyone's mind right now is whether his inner circle will stay loyal to him or if they'll start throwing him under the bus. This whole drama has been building for months, and we've seen a lot of twists and turns along the way. You have to wonder, after everything that's happened with all the snitching allegations and plea deals, what's going to happen next? Young Thug's case has been one of the most publicized in the hip-hop world in recent years. The rapper, known for his unique style and influence on the culture, was arrested as part of a massive RICO case involving his label, YSL Young Slime Life. This whole case has been a mess, and it's sparked all sorts of reactions from fans, celebrities, and the media. At the center of it all is Young Thug himself, who has been in jail for months awaiting his trial. People have been waiting to see how things will unfold, and now that he's out on bail, it's even more intense. One thing that's been clear is how divided people are on whether or not to support Thug. His label mates and the people closest to him have been under a lot of pressure. As we saw with Gunna, who took a plea deal and admitted that YSL was not just a record label but also a gang, the lines of loyalty are blurred. Gunna, once seen as one of Thug's closest collaborators, has faced severe backlash for cooperating with the authorities. Fans and fellow artists have been calling him a rat for his decision to testify. Even Lil Baby, one of Gunna's former friends, unfollowed him on Instagram, showing that the damage might be irreversible. But it's not just Gunna who's been caught up in this. Rich Homie Quan has also found himself in the hot seat after leaked audio surfaced in 2023, suggesting he might have been cooperating with law enforcement. The audio, in which he discusses a shooting tied to a close associate's death, raised eyebrows, and people started questioning whether he was telling authorities more than he should have. Of course, Quan denied everything, but the damage was done. His image has taken a hit, and it's only fueled the debate about who can really be trusted in the rap game. And then there's Young Thug's own brother, Unfunk, who took a plea deal in connection to the RICO case. Unfunk admitted to violating Georgia's RICO Act and getting involved with stolen property, resulting in a lengthy sentence. This only added to the narrative that those closest to Thug might be flipping on him. He took to Instagram to express his frustration with the rumors, but again, the damage was already done. Fans were questioning his loyalty, and it seemed like the story just wouldn't stop getting more complicated. What makes all this even crazier is that, despite all the snitching allegations and people turning on each other, Young Thug supporters are still holding on tight. There's a large group of fans and artists who believe in Thug's innocence, and they're standing by him no matter what. They see him as a trailblazer in the industry, someone who pushed the boundaries of music and style. For these fans, the legal drama is just a distraction. They're focused on his legacy and the influence he's had on hip-hop culture. But the big question remains, will the people around Thug stick by him, or will they turn on him when it matters most? We've already seen some fallouts, with people like Gunna and Unfunk making decisions that have cost them their credibility with fans. Will more people make similar choices, or will Thug be able to rally his team around him when the stakes are highest? It's hard to say, but one thing's for sure, it's going to get even more interesting as the trial continues. So if you're following this drama, trust me, there's a lot more to come. We've only scratched the surface, and as more details come out, we'll keep you updated. Don't miss what's coming next. There are plenty more twists ahead. Make sure to check out the other videos on your screen for all the latest updates, because you won't want to miss a thing. Stay tuned, and let's see how this crazy story unfolds.